All right. My apologies for the lighting, but it's the best I could do. It's true, Hobbes. Ignorance is bliss. Calvin and Hobbes is one of my favorite comics of all time. One thing I love about it is that Calvin here, who's in the cart being pushed insanely quickly down a slope by Hobbes, is insanely brilliant. He is super brilliant, yet he does the most childlike things just based off of instinct. That's who he is. And I think we can all learn from that. A quote from C.S. Lewis in his book Mere Christianity from 1958 reads, "All sensible people know that if you are tired and hungry, a meal will do you well." And that's what I want to talk about today. There's so much science about what to eat, what not to eat, what's good for you, what's better for you, what's best for you. But in reality, all that really matters is that you eat what's good. And that doesn't take much more than that. So my goal today is to persuade you guys to simply eat what's good because you already know enough to know. Like, you don't need to know everything about the nutrients of your dinner plate for your body to receive the nutrients of the food. You don't need to know anything about nutrition to eat nutrient-filled foods. So to begin, I'd like to explain how our body has a language. Like, we speak, we communicate. But there's a lot of words and communication that goes on that doesn't use speech or the formulation of alphabetical terms. In this slide, we have a lady looking at her stomach, and he says, "Hey," the stomach says, "Hey, I have a strong opinion about this. Listen to your gut." I think that's a very universal language. You go into any foreign land or any domestic place here in the States or wherever you are, everybody speaks the language of food. And it's a very simple language if you don't go into the details about it. Once again, you don't need to know everything about it to recognize that there is a language. Just like you don't need to know everything about your food for your food to benefit you. This language goes like this. And what do I think? Oh shoot, I need to eat something or otherwise I'm going to get hangry. This is a study done by Herbert Watsky in 2010 in the Oxford TED Talk. Yeah?
You practicing?
No, I'm giving an actual speech. No worries. And we could go into the complications of this. We could talk about how food goes down your esophagus into your stomach and talk about the enzymes and the different effects that the muscles have on the movement of the actual food, whatever, blah, blah, blah. The point is, when we feel that way, when we feel our body doing that, we need to eat. The next thing is really simple. It's logic. We know that veggies are good and that too much junk is bad, too much grease is bad. That's what we found out in the class survey we took. Everybody knows that. It's basic common knowledge. We just need to simply trust it. Now, there's some complications that go along with that I'm very familiar with. It's the whole I science it, I bite it thing. Here we have a little snake biting the thumb of a man. And that's very relatable. There's also the seafood diet where you see the food and you eat the food. Why do we do that? Well, simply because it's habit. Laura Scott, in a study in the Journal of the Australian Society in 2017, wrote, "Consumers develop emotional attachment to food. These habits that are based off of context of situation can mean unconscious choices." It's like me. This is my daily routine in the kitchen. I go upstairs, walk to the fridge, open the fridge, close the fridge, walk to the pantry, open the pantry, close the pantry, go to the breakfast drawer, open the breakfast drawer, close the breakfast drawer. And then I go through that cycle like 5-6 times every single day. Like, literally, if I wasn't speaking right now, I probably would be upstairs doing that same routine. And that's the problem that we have. It's this habitual eating of we see it, we eat it, when you don't think much more about it. But we do know it's important. Why do I know that? Because that's what you guys told me in the survey. Everybody has prioritized the food that they eat because we know it has a huge effect on us. If I don't eat healthy, personally, I don't feel too good and I feel lazy. I start having depressive thoughts. My self-worth depletes a little bit. But when I'm eating healthy and I feel like I'm living an active lifestyle and I feel happy about that. So my whole point right here then is just to say, love yourself enough to trust yourself. Benjamin Spock, in his book Trusting Yourself, written in 1998, said, in relation to raising children, but we can apply it to our situation, trust your own common sense. Bringing up children doesn't have to be complicated. If you take it easy and rely on your instincts, all will be well. That is the moral of my story, is just trust yourself. If you're upstairs in the kitchen or downstairs in your kitchen, wherever your kitchen is, and you're looking for food and you see something that looks tasty, but you know it's not healthy for you and you know you regret, trust that. That's your body's language telling you to avoid that. And so you can trust yourself enough to do it. And one reason why people don't trust themselves is because they're scared of hurting themselves. I was on a run the other day. I hate running. And I was running up the hill and I was thinking, why am I doing this? I feel miserable. And I realized that the reason why I wasn't improving in my running was because my body was resisting what I would call my spirit, or this language. I'm telling myself that this is going to be beneficial, but my body doesn't believe it. So I need to submit myself to that superior instinct and just decide to accept it, that I'm not going to hurt myself by saying no to stopping or resting on the run, or in the kitchen by saying no to like some greasy food isn't going to do me harm, emotional or physical, but rather by submitting myself to that harder, more difficult instinct, I'm benefiting myself. Dan Buettner, in a TED Talk in 2009, said, no diet in the history of the world has ever worked for more than 2% of the world's population. So I'll finish with that. Remember, don't overcomplicate this. Eating healthy is not difficult. All you do is eat healthy. And if you can't get over that if I sight it, I bites it thing, and you're having a hard time trusting yourself in your kitchen, make sure you surround yourself with food that will help you. Keep true to what you know is best for you. Don't overcomplicate it.